There we go. We have light. People, we have light. Guys, namaste. God bless. How are all of you? My computer's taking its sweet-ass time. It's saying, look, I'm as tired as you, and I'm going to take my time. But it's Saturday. It's Sunday / in the Monday show for America's Mentor, guys. Hopefully you had a good weekend, and you're resting up, getting ready for the Monday, as my day is just a regular day. But to get through these double shifts on the weekends, what I do is I will get back from a shift and I will literally lay down for a couple, 3 hours, get up and try to have a normal day to keep the sleep cycle kind of normal. And I got an interesting text today that kind of started and triggered the whole scenario for tonight's show that I wanted to share with you guys. And it's simple. I don't know why people are always texting me, meaning stuff like this. And it was an associate who had texted me the fact that this person was being mean and negative, and that I choose to be positive. And I felt like Mr. Miyagi from Karate Kid. I'm like, good grasshopper. There's a hope for you. But it all kind of boils down to that in life. It boils down to an important word that basically everybody should like tattoo to remind them every day somewhere in their body. It's called decision. Decision it makes or breaks you. A beautiful quote that I found before I came on this morning, hence tonight, this morning, whatever you want to call it. It says, "We are our decisions." And indeed, it's so true. I mean, if you think life is just a menu board of a restaurant, and the restaurants now, they're pages of choices, of decisions that what we want to have, be, and do in life. I remember the older restaurants, you had 5 things. Like you go to McDonald's, there was like 5 things. You know, life was so much easier back then. Easier decision-wise. But I like life now. There's a plethora of things that we can choose in life. I mean, every single day. Before I came on, again, I was doing my research on this that I want to feature tonight. And they're saying how the economy, how bad everything is, what's going on. And literally every channel is spewing that notion. I get it. I totally get it. And it's all hitting us in the pocketbook. It's that factor in life. But then why is there like 1,200 millionaires being created every day in the U.S.? I mean, so I think it's actually 1,400 to be precise on that. But it all boils down to a decision. It's you looking one way or looking the other. And Maya Angelou said it the best. And she said, "You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them." This person I featured in a reel, probably one of the only people, actually maybe another one that I want to maybe interview one day and really pick apart. I love this. I love the history with this individual. Born 1965, a year before me, to a father who was a film director and a mother who was an actress. Literally had the silver spoon in their mouth. All from age 5, it was conditioned. He actually starred in his first movie at age 5, called Pound Cake, and was conditioned from there on in to be this successful actor, which he did. The other problem was during the way his father introduced him to the old paraphernalia, per se, and that became a big influence of his life as well. And the person I'm talking about, which all of us know, I mean, a very famous actor, literally a year older than me, like I said, was Robert Downey Jr. And he had to make a lot of decisions. I remember, from his first movie, for 20 years beyond that, he was a major Brat Pack success. Did I say that right? Brat Pack success. Literally starring in all these movies, did very well. But nobody saw the side of the decisions that Robert made every day. And his choices every day were to follow what his father taught him as far as drug use is concerned. Anybody who has used drugs and abused drugs in the past knows the outcome. You make really rotten decisions in your life. And I've done that. When I was a teenager, I've been there and done that. And thankfully, I made the decision, again, to follow through on what my heart was telling me. That, this stuff doesn't work for you, meatball. You should really try dabbling in your mindset. And indeed, you know, mind is the most amazing drug. You know, you create the most amazing scenarios and feelings by your choices of them, hence his decision. But Robert had it made, man. This guy, for the first 20 years of his life, had it made. Made all, in part, he literally made everything. He made all these kind of great movies. I remember that back in the 80s. But then the 90s hit, and the constant abuse and the abuse and abuse started kicking in. Prison time, probation violation. Literally was not able to book a movie. They actually sell bonds, insurance bonds, for actors to do movies to make sure that if they don't follow through on it, they still get paid. I mean, not the actor, the company that's doing it. And nobody would issue him insurance until he met, and this is the other person I want to interview one day, his friend that he did a movie with back in the early 90s, Mel Gibson. And Mel Gibson actually put up the bonds, in other words, to get him involved in it. And what that started for Robert was an up and down slide. Usually, you know, we start at the bottom. You know, I'm always featuring America's Mentor. We're at the bottom, we can get to the top. He started at the top, went down, and now he had to go back up again. Now, how did it all come together? Basically a decision. It was a slow process, but you have to take sometimes you got to take your lumps in the process, like Maya Angelou said in that quote that I read. But at the same time, Robert knew what he had to do, and he had to come to an amazing conclusion in his life. And he had a quote that I'm pulling up now in my notes that he did on Oprah, I think back in the late 90s. I didn't get the exact date, I'm sorry. But it's so profound on how we are as people. We had this choice every day. I say it verbatim on America's Mentor. We have this choice every day. This choice to choose a better life or live where we are now or step backwards every single day. Life is just a mental, emotional board that we choose from every single day. And he mentioned, he was asked how he was able to make his sobriety stick. He said, it's really not that difficult to overcome these seemingly ghastly problems. What's hard is to decide to do it. He answered his own question when he finally made the choice. He's actually Jewish, and he practices Buddhism regularly, meditation, yoga, the whole 9 yards. He found this other source to help combat that. The hardest thing was getting to that decision. You know, what did Tony Robbins say that I couldn't understand that really made sense later on in life? He said, in the moments, it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. And that became clear later on in life when I hit my little prison in my 12 by 12. I had to make a decision. Where do you want to go? You got yourself back on your feet. You're living comfortably now. Now do you want to move out of this jail cell and expand your life even more? Hence you're seeing it now in whatever I'm doing in life. But Robert had the same thing. He literally had everything. He had everything. He pissed it all away because he made a decision to do something that he was trained to do besides the acting. He was trained how to be a drug addict. And we're all trained in life and we're conditioned in life to do all these things, but it's our choice ultimately to choose to follow that same path. And I love the fact that he overcame so much, but it's not just him. I mean, we're all the same meat suit. We're all the same. Our uniqueness is our soul, obviously, but we all have this choice in life, guys. Don't ever doubt yourself. I mean, this is really simple. And his quote that I posted in a reel, it says, a great future doesn't require a great past. It doesn't. It really doesn't. It doesn't matter where you came from, meatball. It determines, what matters is your choices on where you want to go. And what Robert hit in there was the source. He found out the source why he kept abusing what he was abusing. He was gifted. He was a gifted actor. I mean, how many people you know that are gifted that are literally destroying themselves because they're not realizing their gift? When he realized his source, his gift in life, he focused on that. In essence, he focused on his religion, indeed, which some people do, some people don't. He focused on meditation, yoga, a place to put him where the alcohol couldn't put him in life and the drugs couldn't put him in life. He literally was a roommate of Kiefer Sutherland in New York for 3 years because he had moved to LA, then back to New York to be an actor. And you know, Kiefer, he was a juicer as well, so that didn't help in the process. But in essence, source Well, when you find out your source in life, when you find out the reason why, I always say find the root cause of why things are happening to you. You keep going back to the source, a point of origin. And that's, in essence, your belief, where you were, what you were raised on in life. A lot of us are living back there. I get it. I did for the longest time, meatball, and I ended up in a 12 by 12 as a result of it, of living in that past. Is when you start living in the future. You make a better choice of thought. You choose from the emotional menu board every single day of what you want to do. Hence, I choose to be positive, as a notable employee mentioned to me today. He basically answered his own question. I choose to be that way. And when you start choosing to be that way, your decisions, hence, will definitely make your destiny in life. Then, obviously, a determination arrived after a consideration, hence a resolution. Decisions are everything, guys. Your choices every day. And we make choices every day. We make choices to do what we want to do every day. You know, when you go to the source of why you keep hitting the wall, you realize why you're hitting the wall. You realize why things are happening in your life. And that's the epiphany that a lot of us don't see, because we're mired in this menu board of emotions that we choose every life. Find your source. Find out what's going on, why you keep feeling the way you feel. And this is what I do with journaling, and certain people do with other things in life. But it's really, really simple. If you're not happy, find out the source. An electrician has to follow the path backwards to find the problem in most cases, to figure out an electrical problem. They have to start from one point and go backwards to fix it. Life is the same way. Until you start understanding where you came from, you'll understand where you're going. And the beauty is you can make a choice to change it. We all have that choice. If you're not happy, choose to be a different way and act that way every single day. The best way you can. How you handle it, it's up to you. But it's your choice. It's in the moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. And that quote from Tony Robbins, who I saw many moons ago live, was actually amazing back in the 90s, really taught me a lot. It taught me a lot, the fact that I'm responsible for my thoughts and not the outside world, as Maya Angelou said. And I'm going to read it back to you guys before I head into work. But it's so powerful. You may not control all events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. A lot of us are in that kind of mindset right now. We think the world is a bad place, but if you look in the mirror, you're actually part of the problem. Imagine if 8 billion people realize that the world is the most amazing, abundant place that we can have, be, or do, and create anything we want in life. What a different economy it would be, instead of being saturated with all this deficit on media, social media, newspapers, how bad everything is. But yet 1,200 people are becoming millionaires every single day in this country. You guys pick your poison. You pick your poison where you want to go. You want to follow the herd, or you want to create your life. That's what a decision is, guys. So America's Mentor, I have to go to work. I'm sorry. America's Mentor _radio on Instagram. At America's Mentor on Twitter. At America's Mentor on YouTube, guys. Hopefully have a great weekend. I will see you guys soon, man. Off to the overnight shift for me, guys. Thanks for joining. Have a great night.